Welcome to MacroCode. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to proceed with our documents management system. So if you're watching our videos and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. So we are going to proceed with our documents management system for those who are new to our channel. So as you can see, let me just launch our app so that you're able to see what we've been building over time. And in case you have a comment, you can also give us a comment. So this is our app. So this is how it looks. So if you just come here and we can actually log in. We'll just say here, let's just look for our, let me just launch it. And launch it on, just have this on, and have it here. So I want to launch it on browser. I want it on Chrome. It's launching on a different browser. So this is on Chrome. So you can see here. So this is our app. We have our active documents. These are the documents that we have. So for the documents, you can create a document. So if I say new, then you can say here. So you can provide a document name. You can say testing. Then you have the folder name. Then document type, the document department, the retention period, action, either you delete or archive. Then you select the file. So you'll pick the file here. Then I'll say here good. So if I just click save, then our file will be saved. And you can see these numbers that you see here. The document numbers are automatically generated by the system. So you can see, and you can't have two documents sharing the same numbers. So you have the document number, the document type, department, created on, and created by. Then you also have clients. So you can see here we have clients. Then you can create a new client. You can say this is Kings. Say this is Kings collection. Then we have the address. So you can provide the address, the phone number. Then contact person, say this is MacroCode, then you provide the email and you add clients. So you can see here we can save clients. Then you also have folders. So you can create folders. So these are the folders where you'll be storing the file. So you'll say add new. You say this is a folder. Say this is a folder name. We say, you can say this is let's say this is contracts. Then you can say this is contracts. You can say this is contract. You can have different contract either for 2020. Then you can say this is contract 2020. Then you select the parent contract. So if you don't have the parent contract, then you can leave it. So you can say here add, and you can see we have the contract here as the main folder. So you can say here, I can say project contract P1 contract. So maybe you have different contract. Let me just say P1 contract 2020. Then you can have these as a P1 contract 2020. Then you can say this is contracts 2020. So this is the parent folder. If I click add, then we'll be having our parent folder. We have the system security. So everything we are doing, you can see here, we have the audit trails. It is tracking the username who is doing what you are doing, the audit type, whether it's an add or delete. So you can see here. Then you also have table name, timestamp, and the primary key. So you'll be designing our display. Then you have the users. So here you can register a new user. So you can see this is the username, email address, first name, middle name, last name, address, created by, and if you click add new, then you can create a new user. So you can see here we have the user details. Then you also have user roles. So you can add a new role. So you can see here if you say new, then you can add a role. So you can say this is can say ICT principal, and say principals. So you can say that's a role. Then if you just add, then you'll be having a role like that. So we also have administration. We have departments. So you can create departments. If you say new, you add a department, system codes, system code details, and the settings. So if you go to the dashboard, so you realize that we have this dashboard of ours here. So let me just go back here. Let me try to remove this. So this is our dashboard. So what I want us to do today, I want us to do some minor things and agree what we will be having. So I think on our system code details, we are able to do the document types, and also I think we've done a lot of things here. Now there is an aspect of documents whereby someone might want to request a document, someone might want to view a document, and even do the versioning. So so I want us to now add a place here whereby someone will be requesting a document and we can actually give them that access. So they do a request, then you also give them the access. But before even doing that, we can come to our documents page. So we have this edit. So if we click edit, you see it's not doing anything. So we can start by now aligning our page to ensure that it is working and also displaying all those details. So you can now add, you can see adding is okay. But if you go back to documents and you say edit, then nothing is happening. So let me go to our documents. So let's go to documents. So we will first go to index, and you can see here on index, we have our action is null. So here we can say action. We say here, so if you go to documents controller, go to documents controller, we have this edit. So you can see here we have, so our action on index, we'll take this to edit. Then for view, we'll take this to details. So if I just update our app and we just go to edit, so let's click edit. So you can see it's taking us to something that is not existing. So let's just go back there and see why that is failing. So we go to documents, then we come to edit. So there we go. So if I click here, so we have an issue. You see, we need to supply the ID. So we'll come here and say on index, we can do edit. Then we can say sp root. Then we'll say ID equals to. So we'll do here equals to. Then we say here at. We need to supply the ID. We'll say item. Then I say dot ID. So the same case for details, I'll also paste this here. So if I just update our app, then it should actually load. So let's just go back here. So if I click edit, you can see it is now taking us back to the edit page. So this is the edit. So this is how it looks like. So you can work on this particular section so that we are able to align it. So you can see the form here looks a bit weird. So we can align it to look better and ensure that we are able to have a correct form. Now, I want us to go to our edit form. I'll just copy this style here that we have and until row. Then we go to edit. I'll copy this up to here. Then I'll say this is edit. Sorry. So here I can come here and we can do here call MD6. I'll do this MD6. I'll also do this MD6. This MD6. So we have the folder. You can remove the status. Storage, you can also remove it. Document type, can have it. We also have departments. Sorry. So let's ensure we are not causing. So this should be here. We also have department. Then we also have retention period, retention action. Then we remove the created on, created by, all this. I'll do that. So you can copy what we have on our create. So it's kind of doing the same thing for create. I'll just come here and I can paste it here. And you can say update document. So if I format this, I'll need to close it here. So I'll also paste some here. So we have this edit. So we'll say this is update document. So what I want us to do, so I'll do here update document. So if I click here update, go back to our page, you can see how our page now looks like. So I want us to ensure that we can now be able to update our app. And let's just proceed here. Let me just do something small. So this is the, you can see this is our update new page. We have our document number, we have the document name, description, document type, department, we have retention period and retention action. So, but now we also have to update our document. So I'll just come here and on our create, we can have attachments and also description. So I think that those two are missing. I'll come here and say description. So this we are using SP.NET Core MVC. So for those who are watching for the first time, we are actually building this on SP.NET Core MVC. So we are using Razor pages. So and we are linking this with the SQL Server. So if you are new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and like the video. So what I want us to do today is I want us to, so you can see here we have the retention period, we have all these updates here. But if you go to our attachment, our edits, I mean, under controllers, then we have edit. So it is giving us all these values that we have here. So that's fine. But when we post, we need to change some things. So we'll just change this. And then you remember what we add on our document. We need I file. Then I'll just paste it here. I'll paste it here. Then we can also have, we need also to update this. So I'll just copy this here and also our document status. So I'll just come to our edit. So where is it? Edit action. This is the post. Then I'll paste it here. So what I want us to do on our document, we need to have modified by. So when you are editing, we now modify, we change the modified by. You have the modified on. And then document number. We don't need the document number because we had already generated. So on editing, we remove this. Then file attachment, we ensure we have an attachment. So we have that file, get extension, file storage. Then you have the storage status, we do that. So you can say this is, if this is not null, null. Then we do an update, then we save the file. So that is okay. So let's try to see on our, so let's try to update our file and see how it looks like. So if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed to our channel, so consider subscribing and also turn on the notification bell so that you're able to get notifications whenever we upload new videos. So I'm just launching this, and then we are going to launch our app. So this is how it looks like. So if you go to documents, I'll just come to documents, and I can say this is edit. You can see this is how it looks. So I'll choose the name of the file. Then if I click, let's put a breakpoint. I think we had done. So if I click update, so there is something wrong with our, so you can see could not create an instance of form file modded must not be enough. Let's see if we go here. We go here and I redo the same thing. So must not be unstructured and must have parameter. The code type must have a singular. Alternatively, give the file attachment parameter. So I'll say this is let's say here update. I'll just do that. Then if I come back to our app, so let's just relaunch this. I'll change this to update. This is update file, and also I'll say this is update. Then if we go to edit, where is our edit? Our edit for, then I'll change our name here to update file. Sorry. And then here we can do edit post. That is fine. So then let's try to relaunch our app and see how this looks like. So if you're watching our video and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. I'll just come here. I'll say documents. I'll do edit, and then here I'll just say attach, pick a file, and say update. So we have an issue here. So it says, so let's see what is the exception. So it says invalid exception could not create an instance of a SPNet core form file. So we go to our edit. What have we done here? So this should be iForm. So that's what we need to do. So this should be iForm file to ensure that you have that there, so that you don't have a problem. So if you're watching our videos and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and comment down below. So I'll go to active documents. Then I'll say edit. I'll choose my file here, and I say here update. So you can see we have our file. So this is the file that we have here. We have our documents. So if we proceed, let's just put a breakpoint here. So I'll proceed. There we go. And if I just go back here, save changes, we'll get an error here. Why? Our save changes needs a user ID. So you can see it requires a user ID. And we said we are going to ensure that everything we are doing, you must apply user ID so that we log the changes that you are doing and keep the audit logs. So I'll just come here. Then this user ID that you see here is what will pass under save changes. So we actually override our save changes. You can see we have our save changes which requires user ID. Then we are doing audit logs. So we have our audit trail. So everything you create on our application will be updated. So let's relaunch again and do an edit so that you're able to see how that looks like. So I'll just go to our app, then clients, documents. So let's go to documents. Then I'll say here edit. I'll choose the file. So we'll be displaying also the file that was updated. So it's still, so here it says an error occurred while saving changes. Created by ID is null. Now there are some things that I want us to, we should not be changing. So when you are editing, I want us not to change the created by and created on. So I'll just come here and say input hidden. I'll say here created by ID, and I can do here created on. So once you have that, then I'll just launch our app and see how it looks like. So if you're watching our series and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. So turn on the notifications so whenever we are streaming, then you're able to get the notifications alert. So I'll just come and do edit. Then I'll select my, then I'll do update. So you can see it has been able to update. So for example, if I just say edit and I put here, I'll say this is updated. And I can select here the file. I'll say update, and you can see this is already updated. Let's do the same for clients. I think we did not do the edits, so you can see our edits were not working. I'll go to clients as well. So what we have under documents, that is on index, we do this. So we say SP net, the SP action, then SP root, we supply the ID. So that's what we are going to do with the clients. So I'll also do the same. Then also on details, I'll do that, and you can say this is details. I'll do your details. So once you have the details, then we should be good. So if I update our app and we go to clients, then we say edit. So you can see how our form looks like. So it looks weird. So we can update that look and feel. So you can reuse what we have on create. So I'll just copy this, go to our edit, then I can replace it here. Then I'll say this is edit. Then this we can say update client, and say update client details. So because this is editing, then here I'll do div class row. Then I'll close this. So I'll just close this. Then I'll have this here. So if I come to our app here, and I can actually do call md 6, then I can just do away with that, and I mean, let me just do that. I want to have 2 columns per row. I'll just replace that, replace this, and also I think status, I can remove it. If I format this, so let's check how our create looks like. We didn't have status, it is only up to the image, so that's fine. So if we go to edit, then you can say this is update client. So then we can I can remove this, and we can try to close all the tags. So if I close that, and this is how our app looks like. So if we update this, we can have our title here as update client details. I'll also do the same thing here. If we update, then we'll be having our UI. So this is how our UI looks like. We have our client name, and you can actually update. So if we do the same thing, we'll need to also have here our created by, and also created on. So we don't want to update those two. But now if we go to our create action, our edit, so let's just go to edit. So I'll pick here the user ID. Remember, whenever we are changing the details, and there's something we need to remove here, we don't need to pull the user ID. I'll copy this. Then if we go to edit, I'll also have this here. So here we can change the modified on, so that you're able to know when the record was modified, then modified by. I'll also remove these other details. Then we'll have a user ID, then we'll pass the user ID here. So now on our audit trail, we should be able to have an update. So let's just see if we can update our client. So we are more doing today edits based on the records that we created. So if you're watching our series and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. I'll just come to edits. Then I'll say here edit. Then you can say this is client updated. Here client updated. Then you can say update client. So what is the issue here? So I'll just say this is I'll do here if it's not null. We should be using a view model, but for now, don't worry. I'll just proceed and launch. So we see how that looks like. So if you're watching our video and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. So I'll just come here and do this. Then say here edit. Say here update. This is updated. This is updated. This is updated. So we click update. So our save changes ID, we are missing something. So you see status ID is also not updated. So we go to our clients. We can take what we had here. Every time we edit, we can change the status of our client to active. So we'll just come here and say client status. You can do here status ID. You can do here is active. We'll do here .id. So that's fine. So let's see how our app looks like. So we are launching our app. We'll just proceed and go to clients. Then on the clients, we need to edit. We need to edit this one. So we can say this is updated. I'll do away with this. This is updated. Then I can say update. You can see this is now updated. So you can change the name of our button to be clear. So you can say here, where is it? Edit. I'll rename this to update. So I'll say this is update. If I just update our app, then we'll be having our, so let's update another one. Say this is Eldoret Express. Eldoret Express updated. So I'll also say this is Express updated. So if I click update, you can see this is updated. So that's a simple way on how you update records. So what I want us to do again is we go to folders. Also for folders, we also need to edit. So we did not, so our edit buttons for folders also is not working. So you should be able to close on that as well. I'll just go to index. So you can borrow what we have here. I'll just come here and borrow this. So if you go to folders, index also, you can do the same thing. We can have edit and details. So for edit, we are more focused on editing. So I'll just update our app. And if we go to folders, we say edit. So you can see how this looks. So we need to change also the look and feel. I'll just go to create. I'll copy this. Go to edit. I'll paste this here. Then you can have your MD6. So I'll also have your MD6. This is also MD6. This is so we don't need the create modified one. So you can remove all these here. Then we can borrow also. The good thing with this is once you design the first form, you can be reusing the form on the other section. I'll just come here and say update folder. Update folder. Then I can close these tags here. So if I format our app, this is how it looks like. I can remove this, and we have that. So I'll do away with that. So here we have some things that we don't need to update. So we need to keep track of the person who created it. So I'll just have it here, created by, and it's Eden. So you can see here it's Eden, and I can say created on. Then here you can say update folder, sorry, update folder details. So here you'll call it update folder details. So once we have that, I'll just update this. And then if we go here, so you'll see these update folder details. Folder parent here, you see its numbers. We have the folder name and the folder code. So if we go back to our controller, where is it? Under folders, we'll realize that for our controller, it's not giving us the name on edit. So this should be folder should be name. We don't need these ones, so you can remove this. And on editing, we also need to remove this one. Then we remove that. And I want us to do something also. We need to change the modified by and modified on. I'll come here and do this. So here I'll change this to modified on, and this is modified by. Remember, we are ensuring that every time you change something, I'll just use this for now. And I say here not null. Then this user ID, we need to pass it on save changes. Then here we also need to remove this, and here we can do name. So if we relaunch our app, then we should be able to edit the folder. So we should now be able to edit all the folders that we have on our application. So it's that simple. So I'll just come here and say, this is our folders, active folders. I'll come here and create a new, we'll do edit. To say this is a source, say source code, say source code updated. Then you can say source code updated. And here we can have this as the folder. If we click update, so you can see we have an issue. What is the issue? It's saying cannot insert value for identity in table folders when identity insert is set to false. It's set to off. So what is happening here? So if we go to folders, check on the model. There we go. We have the ID. So we just proceed. Let's proceed and see. So it says cannot insert that. Let's just go back to our edit. So this is edit. We have the folder. They say update. Say this is the folder. Let's just relaunch again and see how it looks like. So if you're watching our video and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. I'll just come here to active folders. I'll say here edit. I'll say updated. And we can also say the source code updated. Here we have a source code. If I click update, so we have an issue with that table. I'll just proceed. So you can see here it is saying an error occurred while saving the entity changes folders when identity is set to off. So cannot insert the value for identity column in table folders when identity insert is set to off. So we need to address this particular error so that you're able to move and the records are not being inserted, and that is a big problem. So we need to check why our records are not being inserted here. So the first thing that I want us to do, if you go to our database, so let me just open our SQL Server. So we need to work on something. So let's just go. We'll just open. We'll just come to folders. Let me just open here. This is our SQL Server. Go to our database, EDMS. We have tables. That is, we have folders. And you can see you have these tables here. So if I just, let me try to set these to, and set that to on. And I can set this to off. Let's try to see if I try to relaunch again and say this is updated. This is updated. So it is saying, I think we have a problem somewhere. We cannot insert explicit value for identity column in table folders. And so let's just proceed. Let me try to come to edit. So let's go to edit on folders. So I'll just come here, put a breakpoint here. Then if I try, let me stop it. So on editor, do we have save changes as part of the user ID? Yes, we have it here. So we have that. So I can put a breakpoint here. Then if we come to folders, we say active folders. Then we say edit. We say this is updated. This is also updated. So if I click update, it's not even hitting our breakpoint. So where is it? Let's go to, yeah, I think we have a problem somewhere. So the issue of copying. So if you come here, you see this is going to create. This should be actually edit. So that's the problem you get when you copy things. So you might land into problems. So let's just go to our app and see. So you should now be able to edit a record. So the issue here is actually this form SP action. If I go back here and say folders, say edit, this is updated, this is also updated. So if I click update, there we go. And if I just proceed, we should not be having any problems. You can see we now have our app ready to go. Then we have also, I think for users, we'll handle that. So I want us to deal with those like departments that we actually did as scaffolding. I'll just come to index. I'll copy this. Go back to departments. Under index, we also paste the same thing. So our action will be edit. SP root ID, we supply the ID that we want to edit. Then details, the same thing. So if I just update this and you go to departments, click edit, then you can see we have this edit on our department. So I'll just go to create. I can copy this style here, and we remember to change the action, or else we'll start debugging things. So I'll just come here and say update. Say here update department, and then we can say, so I'll just remove this created on, modified on, created by, and also created on. So all this, then here I'll just have my code. Here I'll do call MD 6. Then I can also have here MD6. Then I can close my div tags. So let me just so there's someone has typed in something in here. Can you maybe type share your message in English so that you're able to see what you're saying? So here we can have So let me just close this. So we can copy the button that we have it here. Then I'll just come here and say edit. Where is our edit? Yeah, I'll replace it here, and we'll say this is update department. So if you are new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, comment down below, and also if you want to buy us coffee, you can also buy us coffee using the link down below. So I'll just come here and say update department. So this is update department. So here you can have we don't want to update our user created by and also created on. So I'll just have these values here supplied and not changed. So if I just update our UI, so you can see our UI, this is now how it looks. We have the update department, and this is update department. So if we go to action under departments controller, so I'll need to get the user ID is logged in. Go to edit, I'll remove this, we don't need this. Then I'll just copy this. If we go to edit post, I'll have my values here. Then I'll remove my binding. Then I'll have a department, and I can say here modified on. So in case you modify something, also modified by ID. Then I'll pass the ID here. Then for the save changes, I'll also supply my ID here. So here, instead of doing this, I can just do this. You can do this when you are dealing with a model that you must apply everything. So we'll be using view model for that. So here I'll say if this is not null, then that is fine. I can also remove all this here. So the user ID should not be selected, but automatically provided based on the session that you are using. So if I just relaunch our app, then you should be able to edit our departments. So if you're watching our video and you haven't subscribed until this particular point, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. So I'll go to our app, then I'll say here folders. Then I think we are now on departments. If I click department, I can say audit updated, and this is audit updated. If I click update, we have something wrong. Yes, remember our department edit, we also need to change this to edit. So that's fine. We'll just proceed and do that. So we should now be able to edit and do what we are doing. So I'll just go to our app and we can update. So I'll just go here to departments, and I can have these as edit, and I can say here updated. This is also updated. If I click update, you can see our values are updated. So you can see this is updated. Then you can also say this finance, you can say fin updated, and this is updated. If I click update, then you can see this is updated. So same case to system codes. So let's also do that. I just want to ensure that our values can be edited before moving to other things. So if you're watching our videos and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and also comment down below some of the features that you'll want us to incorporate to this particular application. If I just update that, go back to our app. So under system code, so if I click edit, so this is how it looks. So you can change the UI of this particular application, and we can do that by borrowing what we had done on create. I'll just come this under edit. So I'm just ensuring that we are able to update our records before we move to other modules. I'll just say this is update system code. Then here we can do here call MD6 sorry. So I'll have this here, I'll paste this here, and I can remove all these created on, because this will be generated by the backend code, and I can close the div tags here. Then I'll also remove this. I can copy this and paste it here. So I can close this, can format this, and I can do away with this. So here I now have one thing to do. So I need to do here, sorry, I can copy this here, and I can do here call. I can do here created by ID, and I can say created on. I can do here created on. So then we have, so this should be edit. So this should be edit, and then our button, I want it to be a bit, so you can do that. So I'll just paste this as well. So this should be update system code. So then that's fine. So if we go to system code option, then action, I mean, we should remove this. We don't need that. So it will actually slow our app only. Then we can have this here. So I'll also remove this binding. Then we have the system code. Instead of being created by, we don't need to change that. We'll do modified by, because we are updating our app. So we do modified on and modified by ID. So that's one thing that we need to do. So after doing that, then we can go back to our, so I want us to go back to our app, and here we can say this is sorry, you can copy this ID, and you can say this is not null. Remember, we need to supply our user ID to save changes so that we are able to keep track of the audit trails. Then we need to remove this. So let's proceed and do an update to our system codes. We'll just proceed, and we can update our system code detail. So that's what we need to do, and we should be good to update our app. So I'll just come here to system codes, and here we can change one thing. So this, like this status, so if I say edit, so you can see this is test status. You can do here updated, and you can say this is updated. So if I click update, then you can see our data has been updated, and we are good. And it is also tracking the, so everything that we update, for example, clients, you realize that there is some values now with the updated by and modified on. So these, in case you edit a record, then we have these values pre-populated. But for those values with null, then it means it has not been edited. So every time you edit a record, then we are able to track that. But now if you go to our audit trails, you realize something. So let me see. You see, there are some records that has been modified. So we are now able to track all the changes that has been done on our app, and someone has modified or changed something. So that's now the best thing about audit log. So you can note someone who has changed something, and you can also be able to see what it has been done. So let's go to our final part, which is system code details. So you also need to go to system code details. I'll just go to system code details. So I'll come to index. I'll copy this, and I'll also come to, where is it? System code details. And here I'll have, I'll replace with this. So if I just update our app and go to system code details, I'll say here, if I click edit, so this is how the look of the edit form looks like. So you can change that. So this will make us now proceed with the other section, because you can now update our form. in case there's something we need to change, we can quickly edit it. I'll just go to system codes, details, edit. Then I'll paste this here. I can say update system code details. Then here we can say this is edit, and then I'll also do a call md6. Then here I'll do md6. This is that. We can remove created by, modified by. Then you also need to close the div tag. Then I'll also remove this. We need to also close the top divs. I'll format, and we have everything there. Now we also need to ensure that we are not changing the created by and created on. That should always be there, because that's the first record that was created by that specific user. So the only thing that can be changing is the modified by. Modified, so this should be created on. Then once we have that, then we need to remove created on. I'll remove that. So I just want to also have the same button here. I'll copy that, and I can have it on edit. I'll paste it here. If I just do that, then I'll have update. I'll say update system code detail. So then we have this. So the next thing that we need to confirm is our controller. So if we go to our controller system codes, on edit, I'll come to edit. I'll just paste this here. Then I can remove all this here. So once I remove it, I'll do system code. I can do a modified on, and this is modified by. So if you're watching our video and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. So you notice 90% of you guys are watching our videos and you haven't subscribed. So we have the user ID. I'll have the user ID. Sorry, I'll have the user ID here. So that's fine. So then here I'll do description, which is cool. Here also is description, which is cool. So if I just launch our app now, we should be able to save the changes that we have, so without any issue. So you can comment down below in case you have any comment or some of the features that you want us to incorporate to this application. We'll be happy to incorporate them. I'll just say system codes. If I do here, for example, edit, you can see we now have a retention period, and this is a drop down, but it has already been selected. Then you can say this is can do your days, and you can say this is days updated. If I just click update, then you can see here our days updated. So we've been able to add some of those features. So we've been able to update all the records now has the edit features. So it's like the clients, you can now edit a client, and if you click update, it updates. We also have folders. You can edit folders. You click update, it updates. So I want us to now do something we call file request. So every time a user wants a file, they have to do a request. So we have to provide an option for them to request a file. So we can create a model. So let's go to our models. So if someone requests a file, they need to do a formal file request. So I'll just come here and do click new. Then I can say file request, file request. So this will be a file request. It will inherit from user activity. So then here I'll need some details. So you can see here we'll have someone provide. So we'll have the ID, the file name, file path, requester ID, approver, so, and also status. So every time a file is requested, it has to be approved. Now we have one thing. So I want us to have here, we say, before even having the status, we say here subject, subject. So someone has to tell us what they need. Then for the user, we have the email. Then they need to tell us the extension, the format of the file that they are requesting, whether they want a PDF. They can say this is int. Can say here file. I'll do here file extension, file extension. Then you also have here, so this will be pulling from the system code details. Then you can say this should be ID, this should be file extension. Then we also have so this should be extension. We have status ID. So I can just paste it here. I can say this is status ID, and this is status. Then we also have approver ID. This is approver. We also so I actually here I can go and extend something. So you see this user activity. I can come and copy this, have it down here, and I can say approver activity. Approver activity, we can inherit, it can inherit from user activity. Then you can say approved on. Then this will be approved on. Then approved by. This will be approved by. Then this will be approved by. Then here you can say rejected, rejected on, and this will be rejected on. This is rejected by, and this is rejected by. This is also rejected by. Rejected by, rejected by, and here these records, these ones can be null. These also can be null, and also yeah, that can be null, and we can do this is null. So this approver activity on our file request, we can do this to inherit from approver activity. So that is what we need to do. Then request ID, file path. So do they even need to know the file path? No, I think we can do here int. Then you can say department ID. You should pull from the department. Then we can say here department, and also this is department. Sorry, this is department ID. So we have department ID, department requester, and all that details. Then remember, we need to copy this and have it on our application DB context. We'll just go to data, application DB context. Then we can have this here. We'll just come here and have this, and paste this, and we say this is file request. Then I can do my migration. So I'll just come to NetJet Package Manager console. Then you can say add migrations. Then you can say file requests, file request, add migrations. So once our migration is added, then we should be able to have everything updated, and we can update our database with the new table. So if everything goes well, so you can see here the entity type requires a primary key. Yes. So if you go to file request, this should be detail, not details. So this should be the model and not the table name. So that's what you need to do. So I'll come back here as well, and I say let's add a migration, then it should be fine. So we should now be able to do that. Migration is generating. Then once it's done, so you can see we have a file request. Then here I can come here and say update database. So once I update database, sorry, the commands are sensitive, so you should check your spellings. Update database, press enter, then our database will be updated. So we'll now be having a new table called file request. So let's just wait and see if everything is okay. So you can see our migrations has been generated, and this is a new table that has been created here. So if you go to the database, you should see a new table called file request. So this is a file. Where is it? So if I refresh here, I should see something here like file request. Where is it? Here. I'll just come here, and you can see these are the columns that we just provided. So our app now, if we now need to add a process where users can request a file, and then the file is given to them, and also either it can be uploaded or it can be shared with them through a link, through email, based on how they are going to request. So I want us to leave it there for today, and on our next episode we are going to do a lot. So stay tuned, and see you in our next